my name is Carol. This is lovely Marge, and welcome to Neuvias again. We are happy to see you, and thank you for joining us. Today's topic is going to be about spiritual love alignment. So,
Yes,
yeah,
indeed.
it's been a lot of ongoing with situations involving relationships, whether you're in one or not. And so, we just thought that was a good topic today to kind of break some silence from it. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So for those who don't understand what spiritual love alignment means, it's basically connecting with a spirit, someone that you love or are maybe looking at or trying, if you're single, trying to find that love involvement. And so it's just moving that spiritual love into the next level. So yeah.
Yep, yeah. When I think about spiritual love alignment, I think about a phrase, I think it's from the Bible actually, being evenly yoked. And so that alignment is important in every relationship that you have, whether it's business or personal.
Yeah.
The love connection is really important to have that kind of alignment. Makes a big difference.
Oh my God, yes. So Marge, I have pulled three decks today because since
Re.
we're on the topic, yeah, I didn't know which one to go with. So, we're using the Manifest Soul Mate card, the Romance Angels, and Tarot of the Heart,
Sounds
because
good.
they are all embracing the love. So we'll start off with the Romance Angels and see what they have to say, since we are on the topic today of spiritual love alignment, and see where we can go from there.
Sounds good.
All right. For those of you joining us again, thank you for showing up with us and sharing some love and light with us as well. All right, let's see what the Romance Angels, and this is a Doreen Virtue deck. I know she's no longer in the field, but I have many of her cards and they're pretty good.
They are good.
So we got Unrequited Love.
Mm. Mm.
Ah, the unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. So you can kind of see that he's trying to bear his whole heart out to her, and she's just totally ignoring him. Like,
Mm.
I've kind of moved on.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that misalignment is taking place right on the card.
Yes, absolutely. And there's other suitors, if you kind of look, that are kind of looking at what's going on and saying, well, is this going to happen or not? So, I know, talking about spiritual love alignment, it's about growth and, deep connections. However, with unrequited love, sometimes it's hard to let go of that love that no longer serves you and your purpose. And I can
Yeah.
tell you, yeah, unrequited love is going around quite a bit right now, because you're finding probably who you truly are right now and searching for answers, searching for guidance, trying to find that right mate that kind of vibes off of your energy, and especially the one that's trying to vibe with what you're going through in that moment.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Marge, about unrequited love?
I think that for sure indicates that there's not an alignment there, right? So
Absolutely.
so when we get into a situation like that, you have to think about, is it about um the love and the attachment?
Hmm.
Are you attached to this person, or are you just um because to me the attachment would be like you're feeling obligated or feeling like you want to have them in your life, but
Yes.
they may not be what you need right now. And so what you need is going to take precedence in the universe.
Yes, I agree. I would also say too, to add to that, you can love that person unconditionally, and because you've been with them so long and they've been a part of your life, and
Yeah.
when that love tends to vaporize away, then unrequited love does come through. It's very hard to let those emotions unleash. And so you're longing more and more for this love
Yeah.
that no longer exists. And unfortunately, I think I would like to say a lot of us have gone through these emotions and this occurrence and stuff. And it's tough. I will say that unrequited love is the hardest. It's very tough to let somebody go whom you loved over, years and so forth. And
Yeah.
finding
That's true.
yourself, yeah. So I would tremendously say just try to find yourself and let your healing journey begin, because it's the most crucial time in anybody's life when you're having to go through this.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true. When you
So.
have that connection, that alignment's the word of the day for me, I guess. So when you have that kind of a connection with somebody, they're helping you evolve. You're both evolving together, or you have the same values and the same ideas and the same goals.
Mhm.
Then that spiritual love alignment is there. And
Yes.
if you don't have that, things are going to get rocky. And it's really uh, a smart move to
Mhm.
call that chapter done and move into the next chapter of your life.
Yes, no, I agree. And I can also say sometimes we don't even see the unrequited love happening. Like you said, sometimes you feel obligated to this relationship
Right.
because you may have kids, or there's still something holding you onto that
Yeah.
dead end relationship, and you're just grasping at this point for straws. And so, yeah,
True.
it's not good for you to basically what's the word, like when you're wanting to hold on to somebody so tightly, and be so obsessed with them that you can't seem to let that relationship go, when everybody around you probably sees that this relationship is not serving you
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
your.
And it's probably not serving the other, it's definitely not serving the other person either.
Oh
Uh,
no.
those situations where, things aren't even and aren't working out is not good for either party.
No, not at all, not at all.
And the person holding on, whichever person that is going to make it even harder on the other one. So if you're holding on because you love them so much, let them go.
Yes. What's that saying? If you.
If you love someone, let them go.
Yeah,
If they
yeah.
come back to you, they're yours.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. And
Absolutely,
if they
that's.
don't, they never were. I don't believe
No.
that part, but because
I think
everybody has,
everybody.
seasons in their lives where,
Yeah.
people come and people go, or jobs come and go, whichever, whatever it is. Your life is constantly changing.
Yeah, and you're constantly evolving with that as well. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
the next part, the deck module uses the manifesting soulmate. For those of you who are single out there, just in case, and who knows, you could be in a relationship and or starting a new one and wondering if this person is the right one. So you just never really know
Yeah.
what those feelers. I know lately with the younger generation, a lot of people are staying single because they have so much going on, and of course, also the way that we used to start relationships is totally different.
Changed completely.
Yes, from the younger generation, how they do things,
Right.
starting relationships, if that is the case.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Oh my God, yes, yes. All the courting is seems to have been thrown out the window now, and there's a whole different involvement of courting. Alrighty, so let's see what we have. We have life is tough, but so are you.
That is true.
Yeah. So speaking of unrequited love, you might look at that too and say, "Oh my gosh," because once you think you've departed from that relationship, or whatever the case may be, you're like, oh my God, everything's going to start falling apart for me. I'm going to lose myself. I don't know which direction to go in. And all of a sudden, you're realizing that, oh my God, my life sucks. Life is too tough. However, it's how you make it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. If you want to be stuck in that I hate them and I don't want to ever talk to them, or I love them so much, why did they leave me? Just remember that, everybody's gone through this type of thing. And yes, it is tough, but at the same token, it's all evolving in a learning process for all of us.
It's all part of the process.
Yes.
Not necessarily a pleasant part of the process, but it's just the way it is.
No, I agree. I think me and Marge just sitting here, we could tell you, just even with not being in a relationship, life can still be tough, and
Yep.
that's being in a relationship and going through some horrible or moments with it also can be tough on top of being on top of the other stuff going on.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, so life is tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay, and it's okay, people. It's okay,
Yeah. When if you get into a situation where you're breaking up with somebody or leaving a
Mhm.
situation that you love, it doesn't mean that you have to totally focus on that. You if you get yourself to a place where you can find the positive things. It's like any other ending, right?
Yes,
It may seem different. Everyone is different. Every single one is different.
yes.
And
No,
but you should give make sure that you give yourself time to process the feelings that you're having too.
mhm.
Don't deny them and say, "Well, who cares?" Because obviously if you're thinking about it, you care.
Yes, absolutely. And it's remember the card is saying life is tough, but then you have to realize so are you.
Yeah.
You might be going through this turmoil and you might think that I'm never gonna find love or whatever the case, nobody's
Yeah.
gonna want me, but there's somebody out there for everybody.
Hmm.
So remember you are also tough, even though you might think as you're going through your healing
You
process,
can.
you have to continue to remind yourself, okay, I can do this. I'm tough. I'm
Yeah.
going to heal myself and move forward.
Moment by moment.
Absolutely.
Not even day by day, moment by moment. Because you never know what's going to trigger a thought in you that's going to upset you and at an ending.
Yes. No, I agree. So, Marge, let's talk about this one for a minute. So, life is tough. Can you think of how people can grow from learning in this process on a spiritual level, or even if it's not even a spiritual level, could just be like some type of growth in learning from unrequited love, or love that was lost.
Yeah, it's in the middle of the process is rough, and the aftermath after you've processed the sadness and you've kind of come back to yourself a little bit, you'll you can look back and see the positives that have come out of it because there's always positives that come out of every situation. Whether you were pleased in the situation or not is irrelevant. So,
Oops, sorry.
oops. But you'll see that it was the best next step for you,
Mhm.
and that just kind of makes you feel better about it. And then as you're examining what's happened, you also find things that you didn't even think about when you were in the relationship. They're like, oh yeah, that wasn't good for me, and that wasn't good for me, and that wasn't good for me. I'm glad that this is moving on, but it takes a while to get to that point after you've processed some of that, wouldn't you say, Carol?
Oh my God, yes, yes, yeah. Because when it's a breakup, you're constantly thinking about all your good memories that you had with this person,
Yeah.
or that's not going to happen to you anymore, and
Yeah.
you start thinking the worst and start thinking the worst. Even when you're single, life is also tough. However, when you're single, you're like, maybe there's nobody out there for me. Maybe nobody loves me. I'm never gonna find the one. And you keep going on dates, or you keep going on dating sites and trying to find yourself, and just continue to move forward. I would also like to add to Marja, with me talking about this, if you're continually doing something of the same and it's just not working for you, kind of shift it up a little bit and change it around.
Yeah.
I can tell you, you're not going to find love in the house. You're not. It's just impossible. You can't, unless you're going to talk to the mailman or the garbage guys. I'm not saying they're bad, but you've got to get out there and put yourself out there if you are single, ladies. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying go out there and look for it, but go do things that you enjoy doing, like whether it's hiking, you might meet somebody out there, or
Yeah.
jogging, or
At
hanging
the
out with
library or the
friends.
dog park or
Absolutely,
yeah, go live your life the way that you want to live it. And that way you'll automatically be at least somewhat aligned with the people you run into.
absolutely. And when you start finding yourself and you're like, I'm going to start doing the things that I love and the things that I'm enjoying, and nobody's holding you back any longer, whether it was that past relationship that you've left because you lost yourself in that.
Hmm.
Just even going to the grocery store, I've always heard, if you go to the grocery store and you see a man with the little basket, not the big baskets, but the little, more than likely that person's probably single. So just
That
put
makes
some
sense.
feelers out there. Yeah, yes. And I'm not saying, just a simple smile or a casual hello. Don't throw yourself right in front of him like, hey, you,
Yeah.
you're, no, it's not like that. But, just doing simple little things, you'll be surprised. And when you're not looking, that's exactly when love will start aligning with who you are.
Right. That's true.
Yes. So we
You made
will.
me laugh, Carol, because when you said they're not coming to your house, that's what happened with mine, right?
Yeah.
But do you
Um,
remember because I put the order out to the universe saying, if you want me with somebody, you got to send them to me. So all I do is grocery store and work and home. That's it. And it's a long process to get to that point, but I did meet him at my apartment. It was pretty
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. That's another way to do it, people. Just manifesting, putting it out to the universe, Especially I know with women our age right now, it's been very tough. There's a lot of women in our Gen X category. They're single,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are also evolving and finding who they are when they, if they had their kids, they're empty nesters and they're finding their way, or not even being in a relationship, they're learning to understand that, okay, well, I don't have to go chasing, because you don't want to chase that,
Right.
you do want to chase what you would, if you're chasing, you're going to attract what you're putting out there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't even think about doing that chasing.
Chase taking care of yourself
Hmm.
and making yourself feel good. And it'll automatically bring in people and places and things that are meant for you.
Yes, no, I concur. And yes, there are a lot of dating apps out there, I will say, there's tons of them, but there's also not necessarily dating apps, but meetup apps to where you can meet certain people, if you're in the mood to learn line dancing, I'll give you an example, you can go on Meetup and, get yourself out there. You're getting out there to do something you enjoy. I mean, you have to really think outside the box when it comes to finding some love.
Right.
So
And
yeah,
I think some of that comes from just figuring out who you are first, or at
yeah,
least trying things that you think you might enjoy.
yes. And you might, who knows, you might vibe with somebody that things that you just love and admire, and that person loves the same thing. So that's a good little introspect and some deep connection that might be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I will pull from the Tarot of the Heart deck next, since we've got unrequited love, life is tough, and so are you. Our little stories as we go through our little podcast.
Yeah, they're so great. They get
Yeah,
right on through. They just smooth as silk all the time.
all the time. Yes. All right. Right. So these are a little different, but this is death.
Mm.
I can tell you, every time I get this card March out of the deck, people are like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Why do you feel that?" No, it's nothing like that. Death is the old making, leaving the old, making way for the new. It's a rebirth, a regeneration. So
Hmm.
it's not a physical death. You know, everybody thinks of it as a physical
Yeah.
death. So I would say with the death card coming out with spiritual alignment, you know, maybe a lot of your old ways are dying. You're no longer, that just no longer serving what you are truly about now and in this
Hmm.
moment. And you're searching and you're searching. And so it's kind of like the butterfly as it metamorphs. So you're starting to metamorph, which, you know, the dead of the that dead part of you is no longer who you are. You find out who you truly are as you're starting to expand, you know, on a also on a spiritual level,
Right.
and awakening as well. Because I know we have recently just had a pink moon.
So pretty.
Yes, it was
It was a
so
close
beautiful.
moon. That was big last the other night.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. When I saw that, but yeah, so death. It kind of reminds me of that movie. Death becomes her, but it's not in the same aspect. But I just think that that kind of aligns with what we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, what were you gonna say, Marge?
Oh, I was just thinking about the death card and how, like you were saying, so many people think it's a horrible thing, and I always get excited with it. I'm kind of backwards, folks. You'll get used to me, but I'm always like, oh, what's the next step? Because that's the, like Carol said, that's the old going away. You don't need it anymore. It's not serving you. It's time to move on, and find your true self and your true other half.
Yes. And I will tell you too, when the death card comes in through all your lives, women will start changing the way they look. Their eating habits change. I mean, even with men, you know, men will start taking better care of their health. They want to
Hmm.
look good. They'll be start working out. You know, you start loving yourself more and start caring
Yeah.
about yourself more. Not that I'm saying you don't care about yourself, but that self love starts to blossom for all of you in that search for love.
Yeah, it
When,
does.
yeah, when you let go of the old ways and what no longer serves you, and when the death card does come in today, I think that's kind of what it's referring to.
Hmm.
Death.
Yeah. So do you think that, uh, how can somebody know if it's time to move on from a relationship, or how can they know that they're in a spiritual love alignment?
I would say, Marge, honestly, it has to be about the connection. You know, you will kind of know like when you're disconnected and when you're connected.
Yeah.
You know, when you're connected, you know, everybody feels like they're on cloud nine. You know, you're in that, what is that, when you, before you get married, with the honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
And you're in that whole honeymoon phase and everything's grand and life is great and you're just glistening because your love war is just transpiring. And then when that kind of gets into routine, because what normally relationships will start getting into a routine, you start looking at the other person and realizing, you know, do I still love them? You know, is this what, you know, do I see myself, you know, in the next 5 years with this person, or
Hmm.
you know, are they really what I really, really wanted, or is it what I wanted in that moment?
Right.
And
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I just think that, yeah, you have to have that open communication, you know, all the time, because once that kind of depletes, you might as well just get your clothes and move out if you're living with a person, or just sever the relationship.
Right.
So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, yeah, it's all about the communication. I cannot stress the communication with any relationship, even if it's a work relationship or, you know, just, I guess, just in general, just having,
Everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
you have to have open communication. Of course, you know, trust is there too, but I think once that starts slipping away and the it just, you know,
Well, and those two go hand in hand. If you're not communicating, it's hard to trust somebody, because then you're wondering, why aren't they talking? The other person's going to want, if you are the one that stopped communicating more than the other person, then you're like, what's happening? What's
Yeah,
going on?
that's
It's without the communication, there isn't, can't be trust.
mm-mm. And then I'll say what, since you did mention the spiritual involvement, sometimes when we're spiritually awakening and growing and evolving, sometimes you're growing much more higher than this person, and this
Right.
person's not quite understanding where you're coming from, and so that kind of doesn't have any balance there, and
Hmm.
so that's another.
And you can't drag them with you. It doesn't work.
It does not work. You cannot change this person to be like, come, be in the same
Yeah.
alignment with me. It does. You're right, Marge. It does not work.
Yeah.
So everybody has their own
That's
timeline.
another phrase. You can lead a horse to water. You can show them all the things that are happening with your evolution,
Hmm.
but if they're not ready, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's all about that timing.
Yes. Yeah. No, I agree. Or that the other saying too, you can't whip a dead horse. I
Oh
always
yeah.
use that.
We all like to do that sometimes.
Yeah, we can't whip that dead horse anymore, people. So yeah, and it's also doing that shared spiritual journey together. As you're growing, you want to make sure that person's growing with you,
Right.
or vice versa.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, we're on a roll. If you just joined us, we are talking about spiritual alignment, the spiritual love alignment.
Yeah.
I feel a little backwards.
It's a
That's
good
okay.
subject, Carol.
Very good subject. Like I said, I know with everything going on right now, a lot of people today are staying single. I think some of
Hmm.
us are doing a lot of self healing, self nurturing, self care to take care of ourselves, and so therefore trying to find out, like we mentioned from the beginning, is who they are, you
Right.
know, and then
Or who they want to be. Sometimes it takes you a while, depending on your age, take you a while to figure out, who do I want to be at this point in my life?
yes.
Not what does society say, but who do I want to be? What is my heart saying to me?
No, I agree. I so agree. So we got romantic feelings. Woo!
Ooh,
Your feelings are real and worth exploring. What are we just talking about? Feelings. So,
yep,
yeah. So that's why we're saying here, be sure you're putting those feelers out there, um, like attracts, or like attracts like the same.
yep,
That's right. And so, whatever you're mirroring, that same person's going to be mirroring the same reflection of who you are.
that's true.
Yeah. So if you're putting all that love out there and that vibe, and you're giving off that vibe, everybody's going to want it. You're going to be attracting the same person who's giving
Right.
the same vibe, the same love aura, and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, likewise, if you're putting out there that you're miserable and you're unhappy, that's the kind of people you're going to attract. And sometimes you'll find a mutual agreement in that, and then that's not going to be a good fit for you. So you want to make sure that you've processed that and work through the negative part, so you can put out the kind of person that you want to be with is
Yeah.
the kind of person you need to be.
Yes. No, I agree. You also don't want to what's the word? Where not where you just like, I'm okay with them. And we're okay. I forgot. It's not. You know what I'm saying? There's a word for it. Settle. You don't want to settle.
Oh
I
yeah,
cannot think of the word. You don't
yeah.
want to settle because you're not going to be happy with your lot in life.
Mm-mm.
You will totally start resenting the other person.
And you can't grow that way, and neither can they.
No, no.
If
So
you have compassion for them, you can stop that.
yes. So remember, it starts with you. Your feelings are real within you, and you're ready to release those and start. When it refers to exploring, it's like getting it out there and doing things that you love doing. It doesn't necessarily mean like, okay, I'm in this relationship, but I want to go explore something else because you're on a different journey. So that's
Hmm.
Bottom line is just don't settle and don't chase. Those are the two factors. If any advice I could give you at this moment during the
Yeah,
spiritual love alignment is don't chase and don't go look for it. Let it come to you when you are ready. Source will let you truly. Source will bring you the right person to you.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. And one thing that you'll notice if you are in a spiritual love alignment with somebody is that you're both going to um, not only just mirror each other, but increase each other's energy and move together quicker.
Hmm.
You know, it really quickens your maturation, your evolution.
Oh yeah, your consciousness. Yes, definitely.
Hmm.
And like I said, don't be hard on yourself too when it does come to love, because
Yeah.
you just that does not help anybody, and it just makes you as a person feel really bad, like why can't this person be right, or why isn't love coming to me, or whatever
Mhm.
the case may be.
You're worthy of it. You're worthy of the right person, though, and
Yeah.
the right situation. Because it could be the right person at the wrong time and it's not right.
Right.
So it's all the timing too. There's a lot of things involved.
Yeah,
You know,
now.
somebody you knew when you were 18 may not be the person that you end up with at 50. Maybe they come back into your life or something and it's like, wow, yeah, I remember going out with you in high school, and suddenly you're the two that are supposed to be together for the rest of your lives. You just don't know.
Yeah. Yep, people take detours all the time,
All
so
the time. All the time.
yes, they take detours, and sometimes they're good, and sometimes they're bad. So it just really, really, really depends
Yeah.
on the connection.
Yeah. Honoring your feelings in these situations and how the relationship makes you feel is the most important thing.
Yes, I agree, Marge. I like I said, we're not going to sit here and be doctor love doctors, but
No.
we'll tell you that just finding yourself is the most important thing that you can do for yourself.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely.
Okay, well, we will pull another card if you're just joining us right now. We are talking again about spiritual love alignment. I don't know if I may have said that twice, but I'm just making sure that we know what we're talking about. um, so I'm pulling another deck from the Manifest Soulmate, because so we are, even though we are talking about relationships and spiritual alignment, spiritual love alignment, I know there's also a lot of single people out there. So whether you're in the relationship or in search of one, or you're single and trying to find your way, this is kind of what we're grasping at for you today. Follow your heart's desires and manifest the heck out of your life.
There you go.
Yes.
That's what we've been saying for what, the last 10 minutes.
Yes. Follow your heart's desires, people. Cannot stress that enough,
Yeah,
because sometimes we do lose sight of who we are when we were in that bad relationship for us.
right.
You
Yeah.
know, we,
Well, even if it's not I mean, I hate to keep saying stuff like this, but even if it wasn't the relationship itself, you throughout the relationship, a lot of people give so much that they forget who they are.
yes.
They don't even remember it, or you're so busy working and stuff, you don't know what you enjoy or what you really who you really are.
Hmm.
And figuring that out is all about experimenting and finding what makes you happy and what brings you joy. And once you do that, manifestation is happening.
Yes. And once that does start happening, so many blessings. I'm not saying blessings don't come every day, but so many blessings will continue to open up for you. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
it's just how the universe is, because your heart's expanded, and you're so full of this love and this pink aura, and so whatever you start thinking, it's just gonna go boom, here it is.
It comes and
Boom,
it
here
comes
it
and it
is.
comes because you're already in love alignment with the
Yes.
universe. So that energy. Well, if you think back to when your first love, your first real serious love,
Yeah.
you're on cloud nine and just everything is beautiful. Everything works, everything happens. It's just It's fabulous. And then, slows down a little bit when the honeymoon's over. But if you can keep that joy going, and if you can create that in your life by yourself, then you're a catch and a half.
Yes. I know. I completely agree. I would also say to Marge, like, um, when you are in that relationship too, um, don't not just don't take advantage of the person that you're with, but just don't what am I trying to say here?
Take
Like,
them for granted.
yes, take them for granted as well, because you
Yeah.
know there's some people who do not like to be alone, and so you start taking that person for granted because they are there all the time. You know, let me tell you, people, you didn't come into this world with anybody. You're gonna leave in this world with not anybody. So I'm not saying that, with that being said, you just no, be sure that you're finding who it is that you truly want to be with, and don't say, well, he's around, I don't really care, he's going to do whatever he wants for me, and or vice versa, she's around, she does everything for me. Don't take those little things that they do for you, because they do love you, but don't take those little things for granted.
Yeah. Show your appreciation.
Yes, I couldn't remember how I was trying to word this, but yes. So it's showing your appreciation. And if you're single, I mean, the card says it alone by yourself. Follow your heart's desires. If you're single, and manifest. Just keep manifesting and don't give up on love, because love won't give up on you.
Hmm.
Yes. So, is there anything you want to add to that, Marge?
I don't think so. I think it's such a big subject. A lot of our subjects we could go for hours on, but there's so many nuances on a love conversation,
Yes.
especially when you're talking romantic love.
Yes.
It's just there's so many variables to it all. It's hard
No.
to kind of encapsulate into a half hour conversation.
I know, especially with love. I know, since I've been reading tarot, like a lot of people, 9 times out of 10, it's because of relationships, or I'm single. Do you see anybody coming in, or
Hmm.
however the case may be? Um, we're giving really good advice here. If you are single, just find who you are, love who you are, and then those doors will start to open. I know you're like saying that, yeah, you're sitting there telling us this, but it hasn't happened yet. And don't rush it, because you don't want to rush into the wrong relationship, because you're so eager because you need somebody there in that instant.
Right. Yeah. It always feels when I was in my 30s, it was like, oh gosh, I want to have more kids and da 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 da. And I don't have anybody in my life right now, yada yada yada. What am I gonna do? And start panicking because of the clock's ticking, you know?
Oh
I
yeah.
said my mothering clock was like a gong, gong, gong. I wanted more kids, but wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I didn't have a child at that age. My daughter's older was before that. So things work out the way they're supposed to work out for you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, before we close this out, I will pull one more card, and then we will close this out for the evening, for the morning, wherever you are in the planets. So, but I agree with you on that, Marge. Oh, we got the world.
The world is your oyster.
Yes, she is. So the world is basically finding your own way, finding your balance, finding who you truly are, and taking another turn, from the day to day, a hustle and grind. And so as the world comes in, as the world is shifts and turns, you're also shifting and turning and changing as well. And so I would say, with what we're talking about, spiritual love alignment, the world is a big planet. Like, there is somebody out there for everybody.
Mhm.
It's just how your mindset is and stuff, and you moving forward is what's going to make you or break you.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I would say, just look at the world. It's a very uplifting card because you're doing your own thing. You're finding who you are. You're encouraged to find that deeper spiritual connection within you. And then once that continues to happen, the right energies being put out there. And so love will find you. I'm
Yeah,
not going to say it's not going to find you. Love finds everybody. So
absolutely. And you're worthy
absolutely,
and you are
100%.
enough.
Yes, and those are good manifestation to say every, not a manifest,
Affirmations.
affirmations to say every day.
Yeah.
I love
Yep.
myself. I am enough. I'm strong, and however you want to say that. Those
Hmm.
affirmations.
We should put one on our website, a affirmation list. I'll do that. We'll do that.
Uh, yeah, because that those are crucial. Those are very. I cannot express affirmations enough.
It makes such a big difference in your outlook, which in
Absolutely.
turn changes everything.
Yes. Yes. Instead of saying, I'm not. I don't look pretty. You're gorgeous. I'm gorgeous. Or, I'm. I just. I'm not gonna find love. You are gonna find love. Like, so. You got to shift it. You've got to shift it.
Yeah,
That mindset is kind of what I'm talking about. So.
that's true.
But this has been a very good topic today. And I know with love we could go a lot longer than what we're talking about today, but we wanted to just cover a brief spiritual love alignment, just so people kind of get an idea of what the world's going on right now with the breakups and the single life and the relationships. So we hope we're able to give you guys some insight and some clarity. March, do you have any last closing notes before we head out?
I would just like to say that keeping in mind this subject of spiritual love alignment, what is a spiritual love alignment? It means that you're working together, you have the same kind of values, you're growing together, and everybody's feeling good about it. It doesn't mean you love everything about the person because you can not like certain things about somebody you love very much. That
Mhm.
doesn't, nobody's perfect for you. Perfect, perfect. You know, but if you keep in mind those things and you find yourself in a situation where, I'm giving a lot more, I don't feel appreciated, and you're not feeling as good about the relationship, talk to the person, keep that communication open. And if you're not getting the response you need, then it's time to reevaluate and see if it's time to move on for
Yeah.
you and for them.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. Also, I want to add before we do close, unconditional love is what you truly want. If you don't have a dog or any type of animal for that matter, I suggest getting one. They will show you
Ah,
what unconditional love is, and that's kind of the love that everybody wants in their life.
yep,
Unconditional love. I
yep.
can't express that enough. Yeah.
Very
So,
good.
all right. Well, this has been a Neuvias, and my name is Carol. This is Marge. We are off to do another journey. Next time, we will see you every Friday. We are out here. If you're just joining us, thank you, welcome, and you can find us at Neuvias.com. Any spiritual love questions, any spiritual anything questions, reach out.
Yeah, absolutely. Either on the website or on the channel here.
Yes.
Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe,
Yes. Till
please.
next time. Yes, for sure. Till next time, we love you guys and take care. I hope this helps.
Thank you. Love you.